So we are back on AIAgentStore.ai today, which, is our usual spot for checking out these AI tools. And today we are looking at something pretty wild.
Yeah, it's the GPTBots Multi-Agent Platform.
Right, which basically lets you build out an entire multi-role AI team for like complex business tasks. And
Yeah.
you could do it completely no code.
Exactly. I mean, bypassing the absolute nightmare of building a custom orchestration system from scratch is just huge for organizations.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But to understand how it actually pulls this off without custom code, we really have to look at its core architecture, right? Because it uses a very specific planner, executor, reviewer workflow.
Yeah, so instead of just feeding, one massive prompt to a single bot, the task is divided up. The planner agent takes your raw instruction and uses its logic to generate a concrete step-by-step task list.
So it figures out the optimal way to approach the problem. It's essentially the project manager handing out sprint tickets to the team,
That is exactly it. And then your runner agents, well, the executors, they step in.
doing the actual heavy lifting.
Right, like your senior developers or specialists working on those specific tickets. And then finally, the reviewer logic kicks in.
Acting like the QA department. But how does it actually review the work? Like, is it just looking for basic error codes?
Oh, it is much deeper than that. The reviewer actually cross-references the executor's output against your enterprise's specific rubrics.
Wait, really? So it compares it to internal standards?
Yeah, exactly. So if an executor writes code that fails a logic check, the reviewer doesn't just flag it. It literally writes a correction prompt and kicks the work back to the executor to fix.
Wow. Okay, that feedback loop is what justifies their 79% autonomy rating then. Because it's not just mindlessly doing a task.
Right. It is simulating a real team that has perception, planning, and self-reflection built right in.
But hold on, if the reviewer agent is constantly kicking work back to the executor, doesn't the system just, get caught in an infinite loop?
Yeah.
Letting an automated team run entirely unchecked sounds like a recipe for total chaos.
Well, yeah, and that is exactly why it isn't 100% autonomous. The system actually prevents those infinite loops through a built-in human takeover feature.
Okay, so it does have a safety net.
Right. If the reviewer flags a critical problem and the automated execution fails to resolve it after a set number of tries, it seamlessly hits pause and just pings a human.
Okay, I want to challenge this idea of a safety net, though, because if you look at the target audience here, like product managers or operations leads,
Yeah.
if they have to constantly jump in and take the steering wheel every time the system gets confused, doesn't that defeat the entire purpose of automation? I mean, it sounds like more work, not less.
Well, it would be if they were intervening on every single task. But the human takeover is strictly for edge cases. I mean, it's an emergency brake.
Right, so it is not an everyday occurrence.
Exactly. By giving enterprise architects that break, it bridges the trust gap. You get the massive scale of a digital workforce, but you don't lose governance over the final output.
That makes sense. And to execute that work, you aren't starting from a blank slate either, because this freemium tool comes with pre-configured agents ready to go, right?
Precisely. It includes built-in capabilities like browser use, computer use, and an AI coder IDE.
Meaning your executor bot can actually open a web page, navigate around, and scrape data just like a human intern would.
Yeah, or it can use the IDE to write and test scripts in a completely secure sandbox environment.
Oh, wow. So the platform gives these agents the actual hands and eyes they need to execute the planner's vision.
Right, and all within those enterprise guardrails we talked about.
Which really leaves you with a massive question to ponder for your own career. Because as these systems master autonomous planning, execution, and, self-review across all these different roles.
Your daily life as a human manager is going to fundamentally shift.
Exactly. You aren't going to be delegating tasks anymore. You are going to become a manager of exceptions. Just wild to think about. Are you ready for that completely different way of working?
Yeah, it is a profound transition for sure.
It really is. Anyway, if you want to explore this tool and see how that setup works for yourself, you can find it at AIAgentStore.ai. Thank you so much for rating the podcast, and we will catch you next time.